particular conference, which we are so happy about, the idea was looking at how COVID has impacted on women and trying to understand how we can improve women's stories, women's experience and women's situation based on the emerging inequalities that we saw witnessed from the time when we had the COVID pandemic.
Voices of Women works with minority women. How do we also ensure that the LBQ women become part and parcel of decision making?
Actually happening for the first time in the Lake Region Economic Bloc. That's actually bringing around 10 different counties to have conversations around women in leadership and what that presents in the context of COVID-19, which is actually the theme of this particular conference.
I'm here to exchange ideas, to increase my network.
Women have come out in large to also support this. We are actually making a statement that we are here and we're ready to be heard.
So we want to thank you for making it here so that we are able to converse together and see the way forward for issues that are affecting women and girls in our county.
In my capacity and the honor given to me by Madam, I want to declare this conference today open. Let's have candid discussions. Let's hear from each other what we can say, what can contribute towards changing of our society so that we can have women empowerment. Because we believe when women are empowered, then the whole society is empowered.
As the chair of security in this county, I have observed that with much regret an increase in teenage pregnancies, sexual gender-based violence and domestic violence during this COVID-19 pandemic. I hope that discussions in this conference shall address how to curb these challenges and create a way forward for the county now that COVID-19 has become part of the community.
So this conference will enable states and non-state actors to collectively explore how these methodologies have been or can be adapted, how they can be succeeded, and how they can be improved and used elsewhere to confront new and emerging issues.
GBV cases they are highest. I'm not saying it don't happen in the upper echelon. I am saying the rate is highest where we have high poverty index. So as the people of Kisumu, we've got to hold a conversation and tell each other how we kick this animal called poverty from our houses.
So this conference is actually divided into 4 thematic tracks, and these tracks includes conversations around gender-based violence, deconstructing conversations around gender-based violence, deconstructing conversations around women in leadership and decision-making, deconstructing conversations around social economic empowerment and financial inclusion, and also deconstructing conversations around peace building and conflict resolution, especially targeting young people.
The resounding message there is normalizing. We do not want to normalize SGBV in whatever context.
You have spaces that are so different but affect women in such a way that when we talk about peace and security, we're talking about peace within the home, peace within your business, peace within your community, peace within the leadership. But then asking ourselves, how does language continue to play a role that make women vulnerable to violence?
I chose this blue dress for the following grounds. 1, for that girl who died after female genital mutilation. 2, for that girl who was forced into early marriage. 3, for that man-presenting woman that is struggling in a society that believes that women are supposed to look in some type of way.
At least there's somebody who is listening to women. There's somebody who is willing to take care of women. There's somebody who is ready to work together with women. So basically, for me, it's more than just a conference. It's an opportunity for me to be able to be understood and to be listened to.
Women and youth. For the first time, with the onset of devolved government, we found spaces where we would sit and engage. The women have been complaining, the youth have been complaining, but now we are in those spaces. The question we want to ask ourselves, what impact are we creating in those spaces?
People with a mental disability, they are living distance from their own families. You can get maybe somebody staying in an area, but the mental disturbed person staying in
Kisumu County, maybe in Kisumu town, hata juu anakula nini.
I'm a survivor of the mental disability, and that is why I was chosen to be the mental disability chairperson for them. We are very much happy for this conference because people with the mental disability have been very much neglected. So as we come together at the point of now, at least we said our views of the whatever which has been happening.
When you look at the data, even though a lot of data is supported by the private sector, we have a gap within the public systems in recording these kind of things. This affects us in terms of we are not able to make referrals at times, but also at the same time, you are able to know that you are just able to do more of awareness and sensitization. So there's a difference between sensitization and there's the difference against service.
One of the things we've been struggling with in terms of how many people are we talking about? Where is this data? For example, if I want to know young people who access reproductive health services in Kisumu County, is that information available? And as a programmer, that information has been a challenge. That's why we'll keep talking about young people not accessing, but when we are asked how many of those young people have not accessed, then we stop.
When you find a young person in public participation forums, there'll be some young man who maybe is aspiring to be an MCA someday in their lives and so. So you find that young people don't engage themselves in public participation because they relate so much with politics other than their well-being. But it is one area and one spot that a young person can always voice their needs, what they want and everything else.
As a young person, participating in civic spaces create for you a big platform to express your ideas to the people who are above there.
I want to encourage more and more women to come up, especially the young people and the young women, to come up strongly so that they can start such initiatives because, you know, youth understand the other youth.
Policies that are supposed to protect key populations, and this I can mention about the LGBT community. We still as a country do not want to agree that we have that kind of a community within us. And so we do not have deliberate policies or frameworks within the policies to address issues of concern, especially for the LGBT.
How do we also ensure that the LBQ women become part and parcel of decision making?
I work for an organization called Trans Alliance, and we are a health development organization that works to alleviate stigma, discrimination, and to improve healthcare standards for trans, intersex, and gender-conforming persons in Western Kenya.
VOEC works with the LBQ in rural areas, and we would wish to be in a position that when our members are attacked, the kind of protection given to everyone is given to all, even the LBQ.
All these young girls who want to contest, be strategic to the end, and you need money so that you ensure that even your agents are not bought.
That it is a woman who made me to be a member of County Assembly. So, personally, I embrace women. Me, I want to say that nobody refuses you to be in leadership. But most of you refuse themselves to be in leadership.
Ananifungia huko, anataka akawa ananiambia nivue nguo, nikakataa. Tukatoka hapo, akaanza kunipiga sasa. He was punching me, anapiga mangumi mpaka mateke. And I was just a teenager, msichana mdogo. Sasa nikawa nakimbia kuelekea kwenye stairs. Sababu sasa najaribu kutoroka, ananifuata. Najaribu kurudi kwa choo ili nijifungie huko, ananifuata. Sasa nikaenda kwa lift, ananifuata. Tulikuwa kwenye 6th floor. So nilipoanguka nikavunja miguu yote miwili na meno.
And on the other aspect, it is encouraging the perpetrators that
we can continue meting violence on women, on young girls, on everybody, and we will get away with it. So the only way to go about it is to contain this and ensure that stringent measures are taken against the perpetrators.
Sisi tuko hapa kwa urban, let me just say urban areas. We are more familiar with these policies. We know they exist, but when we talk to our members who are coming from the grassroots, some of them are not aware that they actually do exist. So which means more sensitization within the grassroots and also bringing to them that the knowledge and letting them know, creating awareness of these policies that exist that support and continue empowering the women.
We all must join together in building a United Nations in Kenya. Notwithstanding, we must do it in the context of our country. We are parties that have been captured by tribal tendencies. We are not going to run away from that. But now how you can use that crucible of political parties to build our nation, notwithstanding the political proclamation, or the ideology of tribalism, the ideology of clanism, the ideology of sexism. All these things are part of the context of our time, and we are telling the citizens to rise above them and build this nation.
We must engage with duty bearers in a way that the conversations we're having here, gains impetus, and that we're able to start seeing how do we then transform policy documents that are in place. That means the budget, that means the laws that are there, that means the structure of how people are engaging. How do we open up public participation for women at the community level to be able to speak in a language that they're comfortable with, but still be able to take away the policy conversations that they're actually trying to influence?
I think I've learned so much, especially in women in leadership, because you realize that as much as my organization, we are focusing on peace, but without peace, how can a woman lead? How can we have zero violence in form of rape and even gender-based violence in marriages?
Conveners of this conference, we want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for dedicating your time, dedicating your resources, dedicating your energy, and dedicating your all in making sure that this conference is successful. Let's give ourselves a clap for that.